What's up? Welcome back to my channel. We have a fun video for today because we're baking some goodies in the kitchen. It's Mom over there chugging some water. Anyway, we're making some muffins today, okay? Some vegan chocolate protein muffins. Now, I made this recipe up myself. I did some trial and error with it, but I think I finally got it to a point that's pretty good. And I like to eat these muffins for breakfast. It just feels like I'm starting my day with chocolate cake, which, I don't know, maybe you won't feel that same way, but give it a try because I think they're pretty bomb. Also, I apologize about the sound because I think it might be a bit echoey. We still don't have a ton of furniture, so hopefully that changes when we get more furniture. But let's just get started. We're gonna have to preheat the oven to 400 degrees. First step. Okay, and then next thing you're gonna need is a mixing bowl, obviously. The base of these chocolate muffins is my favorite chocolate protein. I've been using this one for years. I've talked about it in multiple videos. We buy it at Costco. It's organic, vegan, gluten-free, all the good stuff. Also, this muffin recipe, I forgot to tell you, is going to be vegan, gluten-free, and sugar-free. So what more could you ask for? Okay, so we're gonna start off. We're gonna do 2 servings of the chocolate protein, which is 4 of these scoops. Okay, the next ingredient is this chickpea flour. Now, you can probably use whatever flour you like, but I like chickpea flour because it's higher in protein and it's good. Now, the dough the batter, I should say, will taste kind of funny. I think it's the chickpea flour that makes it taste like that. So don't taste the batter and judge the recipe off of the batter because it tastes good once it's cooked, but the batter tastes really funny. So, but I got this at Kroger. I have used almond flour in the recipe before and it kind of works, but almond flour is pretty dense. So if you use almond flour, it might turn out a little differently than how I'm making it. But we're going with chickpea flour today, okay? Enough talking about it. And I'm gonna add 1/4 of a cup of the chickpea flour. Now the next ingredient is going to be some arrowroot starch. And you only need a tablespoon of this. I think this helps make it a little bit more fluffy. So that's why I use these. And the next 2 ingredients is baking powder and baking soda, and we're gonna do 1/2 teaspoon of each. Okay, so that's all the dry ingredients. We're gonna mix it together, and then we're gonna add the last 2 wet ingredients. Okay, so now that we have the dry ingredients all mixed together, we're gonna move on to the wet ingredients. So the first one is the ground flax seeds. Now, this is kind of what replaces the egg in the recipe. So we're gonna do 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed, and then you mix it with about 2 tablespoons of water. Whisk it together and then let it sit for just a little bit. I think there's a certain amount of time you're actually supposed to let it sit for, but I usually don't let it sit long enough probably. Still works though. So I'd say about a minute or 2. So I put a little bit more water, I think, than I usually do in this one. So I'm gonna let it sit a little bit longer, let it soak it up. And then we can just put the other wet ingredient in while that's doing its thing. So the next thing is almond milk or any plant-based milk that you like. This is my favorite brand of almond milk, Califia, but I like it because it doesn't have a lot of added crap in it. Okay, so we're just going to add a cup of the almond milk. I might do a tiny bit less just because, like I said, there's a bit more water in the flax egg concoction. So I'm gonna do a tiny bit less than a cup. And then once again, just whisk that all together. Okay, so while the flax seeds are soaking, I'm going to go ahead and put the little parchment liners in my cupcake tray. I got these liners at Kroger. Pretty much everything I buy is at Kroger for food. And this recipe makes 9 muffins, which is kind of random. So we fill this side and this side stays empty. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put the liners in. Okay, so the flax egg looks like it's goopy enough for me. It's kind of like, some people probably wait a little bit longer, but I don't think it really makes a huge difference. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour this in, mix it all together, and we'll see how the batter is doing. Okay, I can already tell that I'm gonna want to add the rest of the almond milk from that cup. So I'm just gonna add a little splash of almond milk and then keep mixing. So once you're done mixing, the batter should look a little bit like that. Yum. It also smells a little funny from the chickpea flour. The first time I made this recipe with the chickpea flour, I was so scared because I was like, crap, I've ruined this recipe. I shouldn't have tried out a new flour. But then I cooked them anyways and they turned out so yummy. So once again, don't judge the smell. So we'll go ahead and put this into little parchment paper trays and then we'll pop in the oven. So we've got the muffins in the oven and the oven is preheated to 400 degrees. So now we're going to set the timer to 20 minutes and then we'll wait. I definitely suggest letting these cupcake muffins cool down before you take the parchment paper off, because I've noticed if they're still hot and I take that off, the muffin comes off with it, just kind of falls apart. So I'll let them cool down. I'll probably at least move them to a plate so they're not still in the piping hot tray, and then we'll do a taste test. As you can see, they look pretty good and full right now, but when they cool down, the middle kind of starts to cave in a little bit, but I improvised with that, and I like to eat them with a little bit of almond butter, so I just use that little scoop in the middle to put a little dollop of almond butter, and it's perfect. It's like a little holder for it, so can't complain. Also, all the muffins are a little bit different sizes because your girl can't estimate beforehand. I just start scooping them in, and then by the last couple, there's not as much batter left, but you're probably better at that. I can't wait to eat them. So it's done. I'm only having one because I'm not super hungry. I just ate. Make sure you have a drink with you because the muffin with the almond butter is a little bit like dry. You're gonna need a drink. No one can do it like you. So good. Okay, here we go. Yep. So good. I could eat 1,000 of these. Okay. I'll finish this later, but that is it for today's video. If you like these recipe videos and you find them helpful, you want me to keep making them, but be sure to give this video a thumbs up so I know. And don't forget to subscribe and also hit that notification bell if you want to be notified every time I upload. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please let me know down in the comments below if you give this recipe a try and how you like it. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.